is episode 1 of the Mariners podcast that I'm starting with everyone in the Mariners chat. Everyone else is working right now because they are employed. I am sitting in the Papa San waiting for someone from OfferUp to come and take away this big electric organ. But I'm also sitting in the Papa San watching the Mariners kick the Yankees' ass in the Bronx. It's 6-1 right now. MLB 6-6 just froze. I gotta refresh it so I can see what inning it is because I forgot. It's like maybe the 3rd or 4th inning. But you know, I just wanted to get some thoughts out there, maybe just kind of get this thing rolling because it's an idea I've had for a while and no one else seems that excited about it. So I said, fuck them, I'll just get it started and they'll be so impressed with my podcasting that everyone else will be like, oh, damn, I want a podcast too about the Mariners. So, yeah, still got to come up with a name for the podcast, maybe a format, maybe some sort of preparation that could be done to make it better. But right now I'm just going off the dome. Episode 1, here we go. Luis Castillo just got through his 3rd inning as a Mariner. Let's take a look at his numbers on the game so far. Hasn't been a stellar performance necessarily, but I know he struck out a couple. Matt Carpenter just struck out swinging. Matt Carpenter hitting .325. Who is this guy and who does he think he is with that mustache? I don't know. I don't think it's a very good fit. Chime in. Let me know what you think. Do you like Matt Carpenter's mustache? I just don't think it really belongs on him. But anyway, he's a really good hitter, and Luis Castillo just struck him out as a Mariner, so that's awesome. It looks like Luis Castillo has 51 pitches through 3 innings in his first appearance as a Mariner. 30 of those 51 pitches have been strikes, so that's looking pretty good. He does have 3 strikeouts on the game, so right now he's just about at his average, which I believe is a little above 1 strikeout per inning. He has something like 91 strikeouts in 89 innings or something coming into this game. So this guy strikes out a lot of fools, like maybe pretty regularly. I don't know, but it averages out to about 1 strikeout an inning, which we love that. Right now he's looking good. He's given up a couple hits and allowed 1 run. Update on the OfferUp guy. He's still not here. Really hope he's here. I've been trying to get rid of this organ for like a freaking month. It's really heavy. Nobody wants an electric organ. But this guy does. He says his son is learning to play. I don't know if that means he's learning to play organ in particular or piano. Hopefully they're not bummed when they realize there's no sustain pedal. But I think the kid will probably be stoked when he realizes there's a bunch of beats built into the organ. Kids these days love beats. So I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm going to get rid of this organ. I'm going to make a kid happy. I'm going to make a dad happy. But what's really important is how happy Mariners fans must be feeling right now. Holy shit. We scored 6 runs in the top of the 1st off of Garrett Cole at Yankee Stadium. Frazier hit. Winker walked. Gino went long. 3-0. Santana comes up. Santana goes long. 4-0. Crawford comes up. Base hit. And then I believe Kyle Lewis came up. He struck out, unfortunately. Man, I love Kyle Lewis. He's going to figure it out. He's getting stronger every day. He's getting stronger. But anyway, Kyle Lewis, it took 6 batters for Garrett Cole to get 1 out. Jared Kelenic walks up and fucking hits a home run off of Garrett Cole. So who is Jared Kelenic? We're still trying to figure that out. I'm just going to be honest. I don't really like the guy as a guy. He doesn't seem like he brings a good energy to the clubhouse. He seems hyper self-conscious. He's really hard on himself, and he just seems like a stress ball, and that worries me. Obviously, he has athletic talent. He just hit a fucking home run off Garrett Cole. Obviously, he's got that talent, but he's got some growing up to do, I think. I mean, and this is actually one of the things that made me press record today, because I just wanted to talk about this, but everyone else in my baseball chat works. So, okay, last night, let's set this up a little bit. Jarred Kelenic's been back with the Mariners for a few days because of injuries, because Julio's out, probably France is out, and he hasn't done anything these first few days back. He's struck out a lot. Looks like the same Jarred Kelenic we saw earlier this year. Last night, Mariners are playing a hell of a game against the Yankees. It's tied, I think, in the 7th inning, and Jarred Kelenic has not done shit. And so Scott Service puts in Sam Haggerty. Sam Haggerty has been fucking tearing it up lately since he's been up here. He has shown the Mariners that he has poise. He's poised. He's got some spunk. He can do a lot. He can steal bases. He can play the outfield. He can fucking hit home runs. And that's what he did last night when he stepped up to pinch hit for Jarred Kelenic, as he stepped up and he hit the go-ahead home run against the Yankees. And then actually went on to score another run the next inning, batted in by Adam Frazier. And that's how we won the game. Sam Haggerty stepped the fuck up in place of Jarred Kelenic and won the game for the Mariners in the Bronx to prevent the series loss. And I'm just imagining the look on Kelenic's face, the thoughts that are going through his head. He was probably fucking beet red. Like, felt just probably pretty embarrassed. I don't know, but like, from what we've seen from Jarred Kelenic, he doesn't seem to handle frustration and failures very well. And to have this other young guy who's not as big of a name as you, probably I don't know if he's played more games than Kelenic did, but he has definitely been hitting better than Kelenic has all season. And to have that guy step in your spot and do what you couldn't do, I would imagine that Jarred Kelenic was pretty furious. And so today, Kelenic and Haggerty both in the starting lineup. And Kelenic hits a home run in the first inning to make the score 6-0 in the first inning. And I got to think that Sam Haggerty home run last night really lit a fire under his ass to do that. And further evidence that Jarred Kelenic might be feeling a little jealous of Sam Haggerty happened in, I think, the next inning. They're both in the outfield, Kelenic in center and Haggerty in right field. And there's a fly ball to right center, and they're both going for it. They're both running hard, and it didn't really look like they were talking to each other. Maybe there's a little bit of attempt at communication, but there was no successful communication. Jarred Kelenic cuts right in front of Sam Haggerty to make the catch and kind of collides with him and knocks Haggerty down to the ground. And, awesome that he's competitive and he wants that spot on the roster. But I don't know. I think that kind of is just another little glimpse of who Jarred Kelenic is. And I worry that Jarred Kelenic is an individualist. Jarred Kelenic goes out there and plays for Jarred Kelenic. That's what I'm worried about. That's why I haven't hopped on the Jarred Kelenic train. I think maybe at this point I should pass it off to someone else and see what they think.
Mr. Ryan. How's it going, dude?
Hey Ben, it's going good. Just so you know, I'm actually recording this conversation right now because this is episode 1 of our podcast.
Mm, sounds good.
That's right. That's right.
Chowing some chowder right now.
Nice. Did you make the chowder? Did you go to Ivar's? Where'd you get this chowder?
Actually, I'm in the office today, and the office is right next to Holy Seafood,
Oh, nice.
and they got some really good chowder there.
Very
it's
cool.
it's delicious.
So
Hey, so how about the Mariners? Look at that, 6-1.
I
Holy
know.
shoot!
Holy
Can we
shoot.
curse on this podcast?
Yes, please do. But you could also say holy shoot. It sounded cool.
Yeah, I feel like that could be a knee house thing.
Yeah, but basically, I was just texting you guys this morning and getting all butthurt that no one was texting me back, and then it just really dawned on me, I'm the only unemployed one in the group chat right now, and
Yeah.
I just need to accept that not everyone's going to be able to talk to me about baseball all the time, and so I was like, you know what, I should just talk to myself about baseball and record it, and then I can kind of just like call you guys on your chowder breaks and whatnot, and get
Well, here, how about this, Ryan? I've got a great idea for the podcast.
Okay, let's hear
Since
it.
I have been having to work, I haven't really been paying attention to the game. Let me know what's been happening here. I mean, I see 6 runs in the first. That's a lot of runs. What happened?
Oh, I can tell you exactly what happened. So, started off with an Adam Frazier single. Adam Frazier hot lately. Like
Really hot.
he's been doing the damn thing. And then Jesse Winker walked. Are you shocked? No. And then Gino, baby, for the second game in a row, goes deep in the first inning at Yankee Stadium. So, first 3 batters for the Mariners, it's 3-0 in the top of the first. So that was sweet. And then
So you're
motherfucking
saying Gino hits home run, clears Winker and I guess Frazier on first and second.
yeah. Yep. So 3-run home run,
Love it.
no outs. Santana, who I've been calling Santa Baby, walks up and hits another home run. So back-to-back home runs. It's 4-0. There's still no outs. Mind you, Garrett Cole is pitching this game. So that's awesome. Let's see. I think Kyle Lewis, JP gets a hit. Kyle Lewis strikes out. Kelnick hits a fucking home run, and it's 6-0 in the top of the first. So, pretty wild.
Yeah, baby.
Pretty wild
Oh man,
game.
that's good for Kelenic. I mean, I didn't feel bad for the guy.
No.
He's been striking out quite a lot, especially since yesterday, right?
Yeah.
They had, Kelenic wasn't doing too well, so then they had Haggerty pinch hit for Kelenic.
And then
Haggerty gets like freaking home run, and then, Haggerty's been doing really well. But it looks like he hasn't really gotten anything going yet this game. And he's below 300. He's at 297.
Oh man, yeah, nothing from Hags yet so far. But so here, I talked a little bit about Kelnick and Haggerty earlier because I was just imagining how Kelnick must have been fuming after they pinch hit Haggerty for him last night, and he hits a home run, like a go-ahead home run that ends up winning the game, in the Bronx. So. But then today, Kelnick hits the home run, so he must have got the fire under his ass after that last night. And then out in the field, they hit a ball someone hit the ball deep to right center field. Kelnick's in center, Haggerty's in right. They're both going for it, and Kelnick cuts off Haggerty, makes the catch, and basically knocks him on his ass. And
Oh my God.
so I'm wondering, is there like a little rivalry developing here? Like, are they fighting for a roster spot in the playoffs? If so, I love it.
Yep,
Give me
totally. I mean, I love Haggerty.
Oh, yeah.
Kelnick hasn't quite proven it, but Haggerty's also so fucking fast. I don't know how fast is Kelnick. I mean, he doesn't get on base enough for me to really see. But what are we talking about? Who's faster? I assume Haggerty, right?
I actually don't know because I think Kelnick is hella fast too. I don't know who's faster. That's a good question. I'm gonna jot that down. I'm gonna jot that down. We're gonna answer your questions here on the podcast, which I also don't have a name for yet, and that was gonna be a conversation point if we kind of run out of things to talk about. I'm gonna get everyone's ideas for podcast names, but I'm also gonna write down who's faster, Kelnick or Haggerty. But yeah,
I
I
can't
mean,
give you any good podcast names off the top of my head, just because this is just coming out. But I think I could probably help, at least with throwing some puns.
oh yeah, I know we're gonna get some good. I know we'll have some good ideas between the five of us. So, and that's I don't know. I thought it would be fun to come up with the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I feel like you either got to go with some kind of play on words related to the Mariners, or some like really deep cut to like some weird Mariners player from like the 1980s that like only true fans. And I mean, I should say that I'm not a true fan. I'm very much a bandwagon type person. But
well, I think we're all, except for maybe Willis and Ian, and Matt, actually. I think you and me are probably somewhere in between the Fairweather fan and the true fan zone. I will say, the Mariners have never not been my favorite baseball team. Never, ever. They've always been my favorite baseball team. There was a time in my life where I stopped caring about baseball and thus kind of stopped caring about the Mariners. And yes, I am ashamed, but we're lifelong Mariners fans, Ben. We can give ourselves that, right? Right?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not like Ian, who's been like, oh yeah, the Dodgers are great, or I don't know. I feel like Ian switched loyalties a number of times.
Ian's done a little bit of flip-flopping, and we might have to have an intervention at some point on the podcast.
Yeah, but I was really, really into baseball as an elementary schooler, right? So that's when I played baseball, and also I guess the Mariners were pretty hot then, right?
So hot.
That was a formative childhood experience was watching Mariners games in the heyday. But then very much fell out of grace in like middle school and high school, and then kind of dips back in every once in a while. But I mean, right now it's really feeling like I don't know, the Mariners got something that they haven't for like the last 2 decades. So it's exciting.
Absolutely, yeah. I can relate to all of that. Like baseball, pretty much the only sport I've ever been passionate about. Like I played basketball and soccer and watched a little bit of basketball and football, but like baseball, like my dad is just a huge baseball guy, and he like instilled that into me super young. So yeah, baseball super special, Mariners super special. So many fond memories of watching the Mariners be awesome while also being an elementary schooler, like learning to play. Like doesn't get much better than baseball.
Well, and I think the really cool thing with this team too, right, is like in the past, again 20 years, where maybe we have like a good bat, you have folks like Felix or whatever, like some breakout players, but this game, and I guess like yesterday's game for that matter, it proves that our roster's pretty solid. Like even losing France and Julio, like we can still beat the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Right now it's looking like we're about to beat the Yankees in a 3-game series at Yankee Stadium without Julio, France, or Haniger. That feels good. That gives me so much hope. Like last season I was like, man, we could make the playoffs. We could do it. And this season I'm like, we are making the playoffs. Like I'm confident that it's gonna happen. Like nothing in life's guaranteed, but like I feel confident. Like watching us play all season, like this is the team to do it.
So Ryan, I need one more thing from you. So
okay,
you're telling me about the first, and I guess I can kind of see from the numbers right here. I mean, it seems like Luis Castillo is like more or less kind of what we were hoping for, right? Like he's doing pretty well.
Yes, sir. And I guess makes sense you were at work, so I was kind of hoping to ask your opinion on how he'd been doing. I've been trying to watch the game, but like MLB 6-6 has been freezing up, and Okay, he just struck someone else out. So I haven't seen every at bat for the Yankees, but it looks like he's doing really good. He's at 94 pitches right now. He's through 5 and 2/3 innings. He has at least 5 strikeouts. He's given up 1 earned run, and
Was that earned run just like, I don't know, some power hitter getting a homer?
no,
Or
no
let's
homers.
see.
I think. Let's see. Matt
A
Carpenter
good
got
number of hits. Yeah.
Matt Carpenter got like a ground rule double, and then I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hit him in. Oh, nice. Okay, we just got the third out of the sixth. Castillo still under 90 pitches, right? 90 was that? Or under 100 at least, and he's tipping his cap to the crowd. I mean, it seems like a good start. Not like a stellar performance by any means, but like 1 run, at least 6 innings. Maybe he'll go out for another, maybe he won't. But yeah, so far he's looking good, and like he's got to feel good, like getting that run support early on, like, and he's got to be feeling excited right now to be on this team.
You know why Judge and Trevino are on the bench for New York today?
No, I don't. I was kind of surprised to see that because it seems like the Yankees would probably want to win this series, but yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I'm hoping. I mean, yeah, 6-1, pretty good buffer right there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not done till it's done, right?
Right. Sam Haggerty just got a hit.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Haggerty's great, so he's back over 300 now.
Hell yeah. He's still got the bandage on his head, too. They played like an interview with him. Oh, man. They played an interview with him earlier about last night's game, and he had the big stitches, like, pretty massive cut on his forehead. And then afterward, Angie Mentick said he was too pretty. He needed that big scar on his head anyway. That was pretty hilarious.
I mean, I agree with that.
I know. He's a little pretty boy. And yeah,
also,
look.
The thing is, man, that, and I think you're getting at a good point, which is like that. There's some competition going on. I'm hoping people aren't like getting pissed off at each other. Like, obviously, like you don't want that, but what you want, right, is like, someone like Haggerty to maybe feel a little embarrassed about his bunting ability and like improve, right?
Yeah.
And maybe someone like Kelenic to be like, oh shit, I'm getting shown up by this guy who looks like he's 21, but I mean, Haggerty is 28. I always need to remind myself.
Well, and
Kelenic
I
think, is much younger than Haggerty. Am I correct in saying that? Like,
yeah.
How old is Kelenic?
He's 21 or 22.
Yeah, I know. It looks like he's his peer, but I guess Haggerty is like, older than him. He has that freaking 0 going on.
Yeah,
That's always a cool baseball thing, right? Is being number 0.
Definitely.
Man, Haggerty might be in my top 5. It's hard to choose a top 5 though. Ryan, really quick before you're ending this call, what's your current top 5 for bats?
Current top 5 Mariners bats?
Mm-hmm.
So like who I think is the best or most potential, or who I just like the most?
Yeah, your favorite. And you don't need to do, necessarily order them or rank them, but choose 5. Because I feel like there's more than 5 at this point.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Just off the top of the dome, Kyle Lewis, Julio Rodriguez, Carlos Santana. Sorry, wait. Something just happened in the game, but I'm not going to name this person as my top 5. So sorry, Kyle Lewis, Julio Rodriguez, Carlos Santana, Ty France, and J.P. Crawford.
Yeah, that's
I gotta go with like the homies. Okay. Jesse Winker hit a home run.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Yeah, Winker's probably not my top 5, but he's close.
Yeah.
I'd say same thing with you, except maybe replace like Lewis with really like Cal Raleigh.
Oh shit, that's who I forgot. I love Cal Raleigh. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's that many good guys that I love on our team. Wow. We're just so blessed right now to have this team. So close.
Well, I'm going to get out of the office. I'm going to try to find some pirated stream or whatever, and I'll catch you on the flippy-flop, dude.
All right. See you later, Ben. Thanks for chatting.
So 8-1 now, right?
Well, okay. So someone hit into a double play, so that eliminated Haggerty. So it's 7-1.
Nah, shit. Okay, well, whatever. That's still good.
We're about to beat the Yankees.
That's where we shine.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, Ben.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. All right, it looks like Luis Castillo is going out for the 7th. Yes, he is. He just grabbed his glove. That makes me feel good as a Mariners fan. Still waiting for this guy from OfferUp to come get this Oregon, man. Come on, I dusted it off. I wiped it down with Lysol. I even screwed the little music stand thing back on top, and I pushed it over to the door and plugged it in so we could try it and we could load it in his car, but he's not here. I hope he shows up soon. I'll keep you updated. Okay, so Castillo has gone through 6 innings, only given up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, but 7 strikeouts. So again, he's keeping up with that 1 strikeout per inning rate. Swing and a miss at a 97 mile per hour, probably fastball. I don't know if it's 2-seam or 4-seam, but I think he has both. He's pitching to Gleyber Torres right now. Gleyber just ripped one, but it went right to Jesse Winker. 1 out in the 7th on 2 pitches. So Castillo's at 97 pitches at the moment. 97 pitches through 6 and a third inning. Looking good, and he's looking happy up there. Notice that they have Terens in to catch Castillo today. I wonder if that is for language purposes, because I believe Castillo has a translator in the dugout with him. I know Terens is from Venezuela, speaks Spanish. So I wonder if Terens will be his regular catcher for communication purposes. I don't know. Just curious, just a thought. Wonder if we'll see Terens catching Castillo always, so that they can, communicate at a little deeper level. Curious to see. All right, it's 3-2 pitch. Strike 3. That is strikeout number 8 for Castillo. Hell yeah. Aaron Hicks goes down looking. So there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Castillo is at 104 pitches. We're not going to see him in the 8th. There's no reason to push him that far. Oh my gosh, man, it's so good to see this guy going long for us. IKF is up. Strike 1 to IKF on the inside corner, up and in. He didn't even think about swinging at that. Didn't look like it was going to be a strike, but it was. Castillo. Next pitch. Inside, does not swing. 1-1. Looks like Matt Brash is warming up in the bullpen. I've been liking him as a bullpen guy. I mean, they brought him out to get 1 out last night, and it worked. So, Matt Brash, versatile, love it. Ooh, IKF fouls one. On the first base line, it was another fastball up and in. It is now 1-2. Castillo could walk out of the 7th inning with just 108 pitches on the game. I would be so impressed, so proud of this guy. Really happy to see this. Here's the pitch. IKF gets it through the infield, just past Santana into Haggerty in right field for a single. Well, that probably should have been Castillo's last faced batter, because Kyle Higashioka just came up and hit a 2-run home run. They should have brought in Brash for that last out and called it good after 108 pitches. Now here comes Scott Service. He's at 109, so that was 1 pitch to Kyle Higashioka. It's now 7-3 Mariners. But hey, he's still looking pretty happy out there. I think he's stoked to be a Mariner. Like, it looks like they're gelling already. Scott Service. The camaraderie is popping. Castillo is thanking God, and we're thanking him for a great outing. Mariners got Barucki on the mound, not Matt Brash. Got Anthony Rizzo to pop out to Kalanick. So that's the end of the 7th. It is 7-3. Castillo getting a high five from Scott Service in the dugout. They both look happy. We're not concerned. It's we're going to the bottom of the 8th, and our relievers are going to shut this the fuck down. And we're taking this first series from the Yankees, calling it now. Please don't come back to bite me. Bottom of the 8th, Matt Festa's on the mound, and as Cal Raleigh said, Matt Festa gets the gabagool. I don't know what it means, but I hope he gets it here. Festa's got 1 out on 2 pitches here in the bottom of the 8th. It's still 7-3 Mariners. We got Mustache Matt Carpenter stepping up to the plate. Let's see what Festa can do here. So Matt Festa got in and out of the 8th inning pretty damn smoothly. Inning-ending amazing snag by JP that almost took his head off. For the 3rd out, we're going into the top of the 9th here. So I guess I clicked record thinking, all right, this is it. But I guess it's the top of the 9th. Mariners are up. So last chance for the Mariners to tack on a few more to their 7-3 lead. Yeah, well, I'll check back in if anything exciting happens, and we'll definitely check in for the bottom of the 9th. All right, here we are at the bottom of the 9th. We got Paul Sewald coming in trying to shut it down. It's still 7-3 in the Bronx. Sewald. Popped up. Ball game, baby. The Mariners take their first series against the New York Yankees, 2-3, in pretty dramatic fashion. Yesterday, they came in, having lost the first game of the series, and right off the bat, we scored in the bottom of the first, or top of the first, but the Yankees kept coming back. Logan had pretty tough game. They were hitting him. Logan had very few swings and misses. The Yankees hit him, but the Mariners were also hitting, again, without Julio, without Ty France, still without Haniger. But our offense came through. The Yankees kept coming back, but in the end we pulled it off, upsetting style. And then today we started off with a bang, 6 runs in the first, and the Yankees never able to make it up. We did it. We done it. We are past trade deadline season, so we got who we got, and this is what our team looks like. We are without our 3 best players, and we're beating the Yankees, so it's looking good. Let's go. Trying to bait Ian into saying something bad about New York.
What's up, G?
What's up, Brinker? Hey, I just want to let you know that you are currently being recorded for episode 1 of the podcast. I wanted to call and get your live reaction to the Mariners taking the series from the Yankees.
I'm pretty stoked. I actually just left a shop and I lost connection when I was listening to the radio. So that's awesome. I can't believe they pulled it off. I'm really, really stoked.
I'm so stoked, dude. Castillo,
I'm currently walking up a hill right now, so I might be out of breath at some points in this interview.
Dude, that's okay. You're running up that hill, and aren't we all?
Yes.
Holy
running
shit.
that hill to postseason.
Yes. Dude, okay, so were you listening to the game? Were you watching the game? Were you at work? Just tell, what was your morning like?
My morning started with me realizing the game started at 10:05.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was on Instagram, I saw the Mariners posted it was a 10:05 game. I'm like, oh, sweet. Well, I'm going to listen to the game as I walk to the office. The streaming site that I watched the game on usually wasn't working, so I thought the next best thing was just Googling 710 Cairo, found a website that was streaming the game over the radio live, and was listening to the entire game while I was actually teaching a class, so it was
Nice.
awesome.
Were you listening to it in your AirPod, or was the whole class listening with you?
My AirPods.
Okay, tight.
So I looked the royal asshole when I had those headphones in. But it was crucial because I'm very superstitious, and I feel like if I don't listen to my team or root my team on some weird way, I always feel like they're going to drop the ball. So I need to always be listening and supporting them.
Dude, you're
matter what.
a true fan, Ian. You're a true fan. Though I will say that one of the other podcast members may have been calling your true fandom into question, but we'll save that conversation for another time.
I need to know who this other fan is.
Well, I'll tell you what his name isn't. Legally, his name is not Len Bennard.
Okay.
But it
so
rhymes.
Ben was questioning my fandom.
No, I mean, maybe. You know, I think the point was brought up. Ben and I were talking about, we're like, are we true fans? Like, you know, we've never rooted for another team. And Ben kind of brought up how, you know, for a while it seemed like you were maybe a Dodgers fan, maybe a Yankees fan at other times. And so we were kind of like, oh, yeah.
That's a fair question and a fair statement. I'll give him that.
Okay.
You know, our mutual friend Matt, for my golden birthday, got us tickets to a Yankee game. It was David Ortiz's last home game at Yankee Stadium, so it was a pretty big moment. But being at that stadium and being around all that history was really kind of like, you know, baseball sirens hypnotizing you.
Oh, yeah.
And you start to realize this is just like, these guys are the bastard team of the MLB, but there's so much history and there's just so much, like, incredible players that played for that organization.
Very true. Very true.
You know, and I also, you know, as you get older, you kind of just woke up and said, no, I can't support these dudes. I'm a Mariner fan from day one. No matter when the casket shuts, like, if they're down, they're fourth place in the league, I'm still going to be rooting for them.
Hell yeah. Okay.
But But, you know, it's just, I got roots in New York, and it was my grandfather's team when the Dodgers went out west, and he wasn't going to be a Mets or a Giants fan, so of course he was going to go with the Yankees. So there's some family history that kind of, I guess, backs that that decision.
Okay.
So mostly it was going to Yankee Stadium and being hypnotized by all that, like, greatness.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks.
You know.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your perspective on that. We might have to have, you know, a real face-off between you and Ben at some point, or, you know, maybe we'll keep it civil. I, for one, know that I'm having fun spreading rumors about my friends to each other. Right, you know, episode 1 of the podcast. I want, you know, under this podcast, when all the major platforms take it on, will definitely be categorized under sports, but I want it to also be categorized under drama. So that's my goal here. You know,
so it's a Jerry Springer baseball podcast where chairs will be thrown at certain people if words are said.
It could go there. That could be the direction we're heading in. You know, I don't know for sure. I really just this morning, I've already said this to the listeners, but this morning I was like, you know what? I'm the only unemployed one. I might as well just hit record and start talking about the Mariners and calling my friends up. And so, you know, if anyone listens to this at all from episode 1, I'm hoping that they'll get to kind of hear the evolution of the podcast. We don't even have a name yet. And so I'm kind of hoping that we could, maybe I could get everyone together on one phone
gotta
call.
Love these guys
What's that?
Gotta love these guys podcast.
Gotta love these guys podcast. Okay, I'm writing that down. Ian recommends Gotta Love These Guys podcast. That's pretty good.
Thank you. You know, we're all such lovable dudes. It's just, you know, it comes to mind. Also, you know, Mariners, you gotta love those guys.
Gotta love those guys. Okay, I'm writing it down. So that's gonna be a big point of conversation for sure. Is what do we call the podcast?
Yeah.
You know, Daniel just whispered in my ear something that you said to me and thousands of others once, and that's We Don't Quit. Maybe it could be the We Don't Quit podcast. I don't know. I'll write it down.
That. I think if we make it to the postseason and we're down by 2-3 games, we call it We Don't Quit podcast briefly at a time.
Yeah. We can change it. I mean, but that really does. I think that does describe our team right now. We don't quit.
Yeah.
And
we
like,
absolutely don't quit.
we're not necessarily. Go ahead.
It's just like they have a bad game, and I think what they do is they all kind of group together, and they're like, here's the mistakes we made. Here's what we got to do differently tomorrow. And they go out and they do it. And they have, they're working on such a skeleton crew right now. And these are guys who pretty much, a few months ago, a lot of tabloids were saying, Winker was done. Winker got a home run today. Adam Frazier's been getting on base, stealing bases. All these people they've been talking down about, they've actually just been really kind of showing up and doing what they need to do.
Yeah, dude. And when you say tabloids, do you mean me? Because I was talking shit on both those guys like very recently.
Well, I think it's a lot of fans like you, and I think when you Google Mariners, I Google the Mariners every day on Google because I always want to read articles and want to see different stories about what's going on with the team and what different people have different perspectives of how we're looking, how we're doing, and just pretty much like Sports Illustrated had sold Winker down the drain. Like
really,
they weren't really backing him, and then that last week in July, he was just really showing up.
Dude, yeah, he hit a home run. He hit a home run today in like the 7th, I think.
Yeah, he's doing games like that where he gets a home run, he gets on base. He's a great father. I smile every time I see him with his little girl. Oh. He's just like a dope ass, he's just a dope ass dad who, loves his team. And I think that's really awesome is when you have a player who will say, I don't want to fight this guy, I don't want to fight this dude, I want to fight all of the Angels. I want them all.
Yes. Yeah, dude. I mean, if the brawl hadn't happened the way it did with Jesse Winker being at the forefront of it, and and with his numbers, I think Mariners fans would have really turned on him by now. But yeah, like personality-wise, he has shown us that like he belongs on this fucking team and that he will fight for this team, whatever that looks like.
It's funny. Me and Moose were talking about how we just had no faith. We had no faith in Toro, and then Toro just instantly shut my mouth up when he got that Astros win.
Love it.
And he's another guy who's also like doing what they need to do.
Yes, I love Toro. Yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised if the Mariners traded him away, but they didn't. We still got him. We didn't lose any of our guys. We didn't lose anyone from our roster. We traded like pretty much only prospects. So, I think that's good. I think that's good for the cohesion of the team, for the vibe. Keeping everyone together.
I think another thing too is like I think we all kind of had lost faith into Jerry's plan, but Jerry's plan's really coming to fruition.
Don't question the master. Sorry, say that again.
We were all kind of like, I feel like running out of faith what Jerry was planning to do with this team because he had such a strategy. But for the beginning, since he signed on and did all these new, moving people around, and just kind of just building the farm team, it's really, really paid off. We have the strongest farm team in the MLB. It's amazing to watch, and it's incredible that we didn't have to sell and get rid of any of our star players.
Yes.
We just got rid of prospects, so that just shows you how great the farm system is right now.
Totally. Well, yeah, and we got Julio and Logan Gilbert, arguably, especially before Castillo, I would say Logan Gilbert was our best pitcher and Julio is our best position player. Both of those guys were homegrown dudes. And we got George Kirby doing his thing. We got Brash doing his thing. And I'm probably forgetting someone else. Cal Raleigh doing his fucking thing now, finally. That's 5 guys that all came from our system that we now have as solid pieces playing for us. And so all those other guys in our system, I think Mariners fans should now be comfortable with the idea of trading some of those guys away. And we're kind of talking, the trade deadline's passed, so it's kind of a moot point anyway, but that's what Jerry's doing. He kept the team together, sold some prospects, but he kept some prospects too. We still got Emerson Hancock, Harry Ford and guys like that. So a lot to look forward to.
Harry Ford is going to be an outstanding catcher when he gets to the big leagues. You can already tell.
Yeah, I know you love him.
I was stoked the first day I laid eyes on that kid. He was signing with our team. I was like, yeah, this dude's gonna be like the future. Kyle Lewis. It's funny went from Kyle Lewis was the next Griffey, and then people just threw him aside because he was injured for almost 2 years, and then Julio came in, and Julio is now the next Griffey. So
yeah, well, Julio
undeniably he is.
Maybe in the long run that'll be for the best because Julio is suited for the spotlight. Kyle Lewis, he's more shy, he's more modest. I think maybe that's maybe it's meant to be that way, and I can't wait to see what Kyle Lewis does the rest of this year and next year. But
I think it was you that I told. I really do. When I see Julio and Kyle out there, I see like our Aaron Judge and I see our John Carlos Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
They're just two. These guys are just monsters, and we got two giant monsters in the outfield.
Love it.
And yeah, I'm also loving the infield dance after every victory we have.
Yeah, they're getting it together. Little
two-step leprechaun dance. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I think that's JP's doing from what I hear. But Ian, so I want to ask.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you kind of a more specific thing, and then maybe we'll wrap up the call because I want to hear from a few other guys for the first episode. But then we'll keep this going. But so I just want to real quick tell you about what I saw the last 2 days, and I want to get your take on it. So Jared Kelenic comes up. He's played a few games. He's striking out a bunch. He's not doing shit. They put Sam Haggerty in to pinch hit for him last night. Sam Haggerty goes deep for the game winner, essentially. Jared Kelenic's got to be pissed off, right? At himself, at the situation, maybe even a little at Sam Haggerty. Today, both Jared Kelenic and Sam Haggerty in the lineup. Jared Kelenic goes deep, and then what I think maybe the next inning, there's a fly ball to right center field. Kelenic's in center, Haggerty's in right. They both go for it. Kelenic cuts off Haggerty, catches the ball, and pretty much knocks him on his ass. Thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think Jared just needs a little healthy competition, but he needs to understand that, hey, don't be another A-Rod. Be the next, just be you,
Yeah, I guess I expressed this to the listeners earlier, and that's, I'm worried seeing behavior like that, and we've seen it before. I'm worried that Jared Kelenic is playing for Jared Kelenic and not playing for the Seattle Mariners. What do you think?
I think a lot of it has to do with I was a star player at the end of the season last year, and I have really fallen from grace, and I need to come back and make a name for myself. And I think it's good to be sort of a show off from time to time, in little tastes. But you just can't make it all about you. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but you can't be doing stuff where you're trying to compete. I mean, that's what happened with us a couple years ago. We had D. Gordon and what was that dude's name? It was second base. I think he plays for the Phillies now. Not Diaz. Not Sergio. Forgetting his name.
I don't remember.
Drawing a blank. Well, anyway, him and D. Gordon, they were not getting along.
Right. And
a fight broke out, and there was really bad chemistry towards the end of that season a few years ago.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that he's got to really avoid is just pissing off your teammates. Don't piss off your teammates. Don't be doing stuff where you're knocking another player to the ground because you are so I'm going to make this catch because this is my field.
Yeah. It definitely seemed, and I mean, maybe I'm imagining it a little bit, and maybe I'm just playing it up because I want this podcast to be a drama podcast, but
of course, yeah.
It did feel like, I was like, oh, is there a little, rivalry brewing between Haggerty and Kelenic? Could be bad, could be good, A little healthy rivalry, I think, would be good, as Daniel noted earlier, but if Kelenic's, I don't know. I just think he's got to be a little more of a team player. He's got to be, I don't know. He's got a little bit of maturing to do yet. I'm still not quite ready to trust him with a starting role. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
as a pinch hitter, I like him.
Yeah.
I think he just needs. I think what really happened was, he was out next to Julio Rodriguez, the star of this team, and he sees Julio as a threat, and so when Julio was just dominating and just it shriveled him up a little bit, and when he went back to AAA, and I think he's one of those dudes. Now who's like, I'm not going back to AAA. I've been to him now 3-4 times. I don't want to go back again, and I'm literally going to make a name for myself, and no one's going to stop me.
Well,
and
yeah,
I hope it doesn't end with him blowing, his likability, because he was a super likable guy last year. He was the one who was screaming at that whole stadium, like, we need you all here, and we need you to be as loud as possible.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Salesman.
That was a great moment where it did feel like Kelenic was part of the team, was part of Seattle, and he was recognizing the fans and recognizing the team as a whole. And I want more of that. I want to see more of that, Jared Kelenic. Unfortunately for him, I think he probably will be back down to the minors once Julio and Mitch Haniger are back. But maybe he'll earn that bench spot, and maybe he'll get some at bats in the postseason. Man, who knows? But we do need to. I just have a few more minutes of recording time left on my recorder, so we should wrap up this call. Ian, do you have any thoughts about Luis Castillo? What's your impression on Luis Castillo's first appearance as a Mariners starter?
I'm really stoked for him to be our all-star starting pitcher in 2023.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen, and he will be the starting pitcher for 2023, mark my word.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Luis Castillo will be the starting pitcher for the AL in the All-Star game in Seattle 2023. You heard it here.
Yeah, and hopefully New York won't buy up the starting lineup like they did this last year. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Yeah, he seemed really happy with his start, and Scott Service and everyone seemed really happy to have him. So I got good vibes.
I'm really happy him and Winker and Suarez are in the same dugout again. I think that's a chemistry that really Seattle needs right now. So
for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Cincinnati Reds, for giving us your absolute best players.
Thank you, Griffey, for being an owner and making that happen. We love you, Griffey.
Man. Well, Ian, thanks so much for giving us your take on things. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for keeping me company on my walk back to my house. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty inspired right now to keep doing some podcasting stuff. So keep thinking about names for the podcast or any topics you want to talk about, and I might randomly call you up again sometime this week and get you on the pod.
I love that. I'll be waiting for that moment.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you then, Ian.
Awesome. I can't wait.
All right. Love you.
Go Mariners and eat a bagel.
Okay. Go Mariners. Eat a bagel. Love you, B.
Love you too, G.
Bye.
Bye, G.
I was raised in a northern town. Me and the boys were jamming it up, playing rock and roll music when the sun goes down. Country music was a different world. Long before they found a beat and said goodbye to old Lester and Earl. Back when time was on our side, before Dwayne and Jamie died, up by the riverside where the eagles fly, on a gravel road we ride to the garden where the poets stare and play into the night and say, well, that's just rock and roll. Yeah, but those are country boys playing rock and roll on a country road. I never really knew the girls I applied. I never took the time to see behind the door where the secrets lie. She was all alone, it seemed. She never really had the chance to catch and hold on to a dream. away from all our fears we hide by a canyon creek where the water speaks. We dream into the night. As the time goes on, the dream is won, the song becomes the light. And she says, well, let's just rock and roll. I say, yeah, but those are country boys playing rock and roll on country road. Oh, that's just rock and roll. Yeah, but those are country boys playing rock and roll on the country road. I was raised in a northern town. Me and the boys were jamming it up, playing rock and roll music when the sun goes down. By the riverside where the eagles fly, on the gravel road we ride.